Hey, everybody,
Hello.
we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
And today's topic is funding your retirement if you're a small business. Now, I know a lot of you out there have your own side hustles or you're working completely for yourself, and you might be wondering, how do I save for retirement? Um, we've built our business from a couple people to 20 people, and it's a lot of work, but very gratifying. One thing to think about when you're setting up retirement is what are the tax implications? My wife has something she wants
I
to
have
say.
something to say. Our advice is please
Oh, here's the disclaimer.
consult a financial expert.
Yes.
Our advice is only advice. We are not here to diagnose, treat, recommend, or cure any disease
We're not here
or
to
illness
cure your money
or
problems.
financial problems or anything. It is just here to impart our own experiences. So please seek out professional help. That said, we've been working together for, actually, since the day we met. We were working at the same company. We didn't own it, but we met and worked at the same company. His mother was my boss, one of my bosses. But so we've kind of had an entrepreneurial spirit our whole lives. I had a balloon company, a short-lived balloon company back in
Before.
the
We'll call it before.
Yeah, before BD, before BD. So, but we kind of inherited this window cleaning company that we have, and we had it for 30
Well,
years.
we didn't quite inherit it. The story was that the owner passed away suddenly from brain aneurysm. The existing employees got together, purchased the company, and then we've been running it ever since.
Well,
it's been pared down to just two partners.
It's just him and his partner who have bought it. They bought out everyone else, and they've been running it.
So
and I just come on to help as needed, but.
Right. So as we're working through, and we're not making a ton of money, and it's the big question is how do we save for retirement?
Yeah. Okay.
And I've heard about people that say, well, get 401k. Well, those are expensive for small companies to run, and at the time when we first started saving, we only had a couple of people in the company, so it didn't make sense to do a 401k. So our financial advisor at the time, who was just our accountant, said, well, look into a self-directed IRA. So a self-directed IRA, all that means is that you open one up through a brokerage account and you administer it. You buy the stocks or bonds or whatever you want in there, and you just take the tax benefit on your tax return. But upon looking further, I discovered that a better alternative to regular self-directed IRA, which is a Roth IRA. And you might say, what's a Roth IRA? Well,
What's a Roth IRA?
Okay. I don't know exactly what the initials stand for. All I know is that
I believe it's Independent Retirement Account.
that's for IRA,
Oh.
not Roth.
Well, then it would be.
There's some other.
Return on.
I don't have
all right,
the exact amount.
I used to know kind of these things.
So the difference between an IRA, self-directed IRA, and a self-directed Roth IRA is that you don't get immediate tax benefit. So if you had a traditional IRA, let's just say you were putting in $2,000 per year into that account. You would be able to take that $2,000 that you put in your self-directed IRA off of your taxes for that year. So you would save a few $100s in taxes. But what happens is on a regular self-directed IRA, when you are ready to retire at 70 and a half, when you have to take minimum distributions, your withdrawals are taxed at your regular tax rate that time, which means all the earnings that you've made for the last 20, 30, 40 years, if you get started early enough, are subject to tax. And so your return on investment is very low. And the benefits on the taxation that you've made while you're putting the money in, very, very low. So I've looked into Roth IRA, and that accumulates the same contribution amount. I think currently the maximum is $6,000 per year you can put into a Roth IRA, same in a regular IRA. But this is with after-tax dollars. So when you get your paycheck, after you paid all the taxes, you contribute to your Roth IRA. And if you use Fidelity, which I like Fidelity or Schwab or any other brokerage account, we're not you know, recommending.
Or
Just tell you one that I use. It's very transparent and simple, and there's no minimum amount to start. So even if you only have $100, you can set up a Roth IRA, and then you can also set up an automatic savings account where you can get money taken out of your paycheck and go directly to what's called a core account at your brokerage account, and then that can be moved to your Roth IRA at the end of the year. So you can put in, you know, $100 a month, and at the end of the year you've got $1,200. It's a good start if you're not making a lot of money. You do have to figure out where to put the money, and the most simple way that most investors tell you is to just be a passive investor and use the market as your guide. So you can buy something called an ETF, or exchange traded fund, which is a batch of stocks, and the most common one is called SPY, which is the S&P 500 index for the 500 the biggest stocks on the stock exchange. And so if you purchase that, dollar cost averaging, which means you can buy it every month when you contribute. You buy a little share or two, and then move your way up, and so you have a good little nest egg of the S&P 500. And then as it grows year over year, when you start having to take minimum withdrawals at the age 70 and a half, all your earnings are tax free, which is, it makes your return, I think it's 4 times the amount if you put into a regular IRA. So it's amazing. If you can be disciplined, you can start putting in the maximum amount every year. Within 20 years, you should have about $500,000. It's, compounding interest is very powerful. Another great benefit of a Roth IRA is if you need money for a big purchase, like down payment on a house, you can take out of your Roth IRA penalty-free all of your contributions, not any earnings, but all of your contributions, and use that as a down payment. I mean, you don't want to do that if you can help it, because you want to build your retirement nest egg up and make it big, so that by the time you're older, you'll have some money to draw down from. That's what I'm looking forward to, is building this up to the point where I can just have people do work for me, and I just kind of play and have fun. So research Roth IRAs, research SPY for research ETF, exchange traded funds. Another hidden thing that a lot of people don't understand is once you have a Roth IRA set up, and I get paid a salary by the corporation, and I do also get profit sharing. But if you have a non-working spouse, or one who's getting a very small salary because she's so nice.
I worked the first year of our company for nothing.
Yes.
I got paid that, and I was raising our child
Yes.
at the same time.
She's sacrificed a lot. And
It was not a salary. It was.
But okay, the point I'm getting to is if you want to increase the amount of money you want to save, you can have what's called a spousal Roth. And I just learned about this a few years ago, where you can set that up under your spouse's name if you're the primary earner, and you can contribute up to the maximum amount for your spouse. Oh, and also if you're over 50, you get an extra $1,000 a year you can contribute. So you can contribute $7,000 now versus $6,000 if you're less than 50 years old. So I hope that I've given you a little overview and some encouragement to start saving for retirement. It's never too early,
Never too early, and it's
and
never too late.
late. Well,
Well,
if
it
you're
is-
over
could be.
70 and a half, it's
Oh no, it's still not too late.
well, you're
And
not going to get as much benefit from.
Keep going.
But anything before 70, you're in good shape.
Keep going. Just keep
And
going.
don't make really don't gamble with your retirement money. Keep it safe in the market. You can also set up what's called a trailing stop loss. You've looked that up, and that is insurance for your account. So you can say, well, I don't want to lose more than 20% of my amount. So as the stock goes up in value, or the ETF goes up in value, gets up to the top, and then all of a sudden we have a big decline. When it's dropped 20%, there'll be an automatic sell order put in place, and you will have kept yourself with only a 20% loss. Where if in some of the the bad years, there's been 60, 70, 80% losses on people's investments, like 2009, 2010. So that kind of can save you quite a bit of money, and it's just insurance to have that one little sell order in place called a trailing stop loss. You can do it based on percentage. You can do it based on dollars, but percentage is just easier. It's another thing to look up, and just get educated on money and how it works, and treat it with respect, and know that we're here looking out for you. So that's it for today, and we'll have more topics about small business ownership, working with your spouse, and lots of other fun stuff. All right.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.